The Flying Scotsman. Hello everyone, this is basically Thomas Hankton and Friends Wooden Movies, just doing a little Christmas video. Before I start the little story, can I just say a very big Merry Christmas to everyone, and my movie An Unusual Engine will actually be filmed tomorrow, as I don't have time don't actually have time on January the 5th when it was originally going to be filmed, and because it's a Christmas movie I wanted to have it more, close to Christmas, so it's going to be tomorrow. Well, okay, the day after this video is uploaded, so let's just say 27th of December. But likely uploaded on the 28th. Now come on, so let's get started with this story. The Flying Scotsman had recently come to the island of Sodor for a visit. He was a very fast steam engine with two wonderful tenders. One day he was speaking to Spencer at the siding. "Hey, I said the Flying Scotsman, can go a lot faster than you." "No, you can't," said Spencer angrily. "I can go faster. Me, they argued. They didn't notice devious Diesel on the viaduct. He gave the truck a bump. Suddenly it rolled down the track and it crashed into the Flying Scotsman and Spencer. And then that fell off the track too. Tee-hee-hee-hee. Off Diesel, he rolled down the line. "Did you see me?" asked Diesel. "What are you doing back?" said Spencer. "Fat Control didn't need me for anything," laughed Diesel. "I just came back, through the magic buffers." And he oiled away. The Flying Scotsman's second tender was half still on the track, but they would need assistance. Very, very big assistance. Luckily, Duck was nearby. "Anything been going on here?" said Duck, trying not to laugh. "Not really," said the Flying Scotsman. "In fact, that stupid Diesel bumped the track into us. And we were right in the middle of an argument over who was faster," said Spencer. "Not a good way to be interrupted." Duck laughed and set to work. Soon, the Flying Scotsman and Spencer were back on the track, and Duck took away the truck. The Flying Scotsman and Spencer were just about to start arguing again when the Fat Controller arrived. "Hello, Spencer. Hello, Flying Scotsman," said the Fat Controller. "I need you to go to the sheds. We have 3 new engines." He drove away. "New engines?" said the Flying Scotsman. "This I must see." And he coughed. "Wait for me," said Spencer. And he puffed away as well. Thomas was in the yard was in the sheds with his 2 coaches, Annie and Clarabelle, when the Flying Scotsman and Spencer appeared out of the tunnel. "Meet," said the Fat Controller. "I vote you." As the shed puffed a little red tank engine. "And meet Lady." And out of the shed puffed an even smaller little purple tank engine. And there should be one more, said the Fat Controller. Suddenly, around the bend came a little red tender engine. This, said the Fat Controller, is Mike. He came from the Asdale Railway and he's going to help upon the narrow gauge railway with all of the goods work. Yes, sir, said Mike, and he puffed away. Ivo here is a narrow gauge engine as well. Where else Lady here, is going to pull coaches. The Flying Scotsman and Spencer puffed away. They wondered what these new engines were like. Thomas had to continue on his journey from his coaches. Just then Duke arrived. He had come to show Ivo Hugh around. Hello, said Ivo Hugh. My name's Ivo Hugh. What's yours? My name is Duke, said Duke. Pleased to meet you, Ivo Hugh. Meanwhile, Spencer and the Flying Scotsman were back at the signing. Spencer puffed away to pull the Duke and Duchess's coach. Whilst the Flying Scotsman puffed onto a siding. He wanted to see how these new engines behaved. Ivo Hugh seemed to be getting on very well with Duke and behaving very well. He was as well. Lady was being shown around by Harry and Bert. They weren't very happy about this, but when they found Lady behaved well, they tried to be nice to her. Said Harry. Doesn't Boss want this little engine? I think he does, said Bert. Still can't remember. It still was a while since we actually did that. And they oiled around the bed with Lady. Well, whilst Lady and Ivo Hugh were being well behaved, Mike, who was being shown around by Scarloey, was not behaving well. Oh, you stupid engine, said Mike. Why can't I be coupled in front, see the view of this new railway? He was so cross he gave Scarloey a bump. Then there was trouble. The points weren't set and Scarloey came off the track. Whoops, said Mike. But Mike didn't want to admit it had been an accident, so he said, I'll leave you there. And he steamed angrily away. Luckily, Rheneas was nearby. Are you all right, Scarloey? Asked Rheneas. I think so, said Rheneas. I think so, said Scarloey. Soon, Rheneas pulled Scarloey back onto the tracks. She puffed cheerfully away. Mike, however, was being very, very reckless. Very indeed. In the sheds, he met Smudger. I don't like this railway, complained Mike. No, I can't be reckless. You want to be reckless, said Smudger. Reckless is my middle name. Rude is my game. I even helped an Diesel 10. An evil diesel with a claw. Take over the railway. And just to prove that I can be very, very reckless, Watch this. Smudger pulled an empty train around the line and accidentally on purpose smashed the trucks off the track. Oops, said Smudger. He and Mike laughed out loud. Come on, Mike, said Smudger. I need to show you some more good things, and he puffed away. The trucks lay upside down in the grass. Mighty Mac was taking a small train. They were puffing very cheerfully when suddenly, out the tunnel, burst Smudger and Mike. This, said Smudger, is Mighty Mac. What? Shrilled Mighty Mac. And he crashed off the track. Yep. Smudger rushing straight. Smudger going so fast. Scared Mighty Mac so much that they crashed their train. Thanks a lot for that, said Fred, one of the trucks. I don't fancy getting smashed up. Sorry, said Mighty. We didn't do that on purpose, said Mac. But there was more trouble all along the line. Percy was enjoying a little puff about. Then he stopped by the narrow gauge railway. I'm sure this won't go. Oh, narrow gauge railway, said Percy. It's nice to see the narrow gauge. Yeah! Mike burst out of nowhere and blew his whistle so loudly Percy came up the tracks and smashed into the Mighty Mac's wreck. Whoops, said Mike, and he puffed away. There was more trouble. Thomas was going down the line with Annie and Clarabelle. Suddenly, just for some reason, he came off the track and crashed. How did that happen? Said Thomas. Oh, might have been some of that water from my tank, said Mike. With Thomas off the track, Toby had to pull Annie and Clarabelle. He was used to it and pulled happily down the track. Suddenly, he slipped on some more water and crashed. What is this new engine? Cried Toby. Mike and Smudger were laughing together when suddenly Diesel oiled up. I admire this, squirmed Diesel. Can you help me cause trouble? You don't need to say this twice. And he coupled to Diesel. So did Smudger and the three troublemakers off the road. Look, there's Smudger. They're Renae's and Scarlet. Rush at them! And they did rush at them and they crashed. Ow, said Renae's. Who were that? I believe that was Mike, Smudger and Diesel, he said. Duck was enjoying shunting a truck when suddenly Smudger went bang into him. Help! Cried Duck, and he crashed. Just wait until the Fat Controller finds you out, he called as the roar of the three engines continued along their journey. coach. It was going fast. When suddenly he found the points were switched in his line. Yikes! He cried. And he crashed. Then he tumbled down the line and took the fact and his track inspection can't withstand with him. What? Said the fat controller. Is this Spencer? Sorry, called Spencer. I really didn't mean to. A man put a stop sign on the line where Thomas Percy and Mighty Mac's big wreck was, because they thought that was one of the dangerous lines. Duncan came puffing down the track. Oh, a little stop sign, what damage could that do? He said. He bumped into the stop sign, knocked it over. Suddenly he found he couldn't stop. He was slipping and he crashed into Thomas Percy and Mighty Mac's wreck. The stop sign went tumbling into the wreck too. Oh, said Duncan, why do I never pay attention to stop signs? Meanwhile, Harry and Bert were bored. Taking Lady down the line. Huh, said Harry. This is boring. Yeah, said Bert. Can't believe it's Christmas tomorrow and there's already a massive wreck. Let's give Lady a bump. Yeah, let's give Lady a bump. Harry bumped into Lady and she came off the track and crashed. Oopsie! Laughed the Diesels. And they went into the shed. And Hugh and Duke were singing the song. Oh, Christmas Eve, today is Christmas Eve. So they puffed along the line. Just then, Rusty, the little diesel came down the line. Taking a train with the handle. The two engines looked worried. There's quite a wreck going on, said Rusty. Be careful. Thanks, called Hugh and Duke. Rusty and Sir Handel continued on their way, but without the stop sign, they didn't know that it was dangerous on that line. They came over the tracks and they gave a giant smash. Goodness, said Sir Handel. How did that get here? There must have been a stop sign somehow, cried Sir Handel, and he rolled over and smashed. Millie was a new little angel on the narrow railway. She too didn't see the stop sign and crashed. Goodness me, cried Millie. Suppose, au revoir being on the track. Smudger, Mike and Diesel were laughing out loud. But the Flying Scotsman had seen everything. And he had a little plan. First, he had to go and tell Duke and Hugh what was happening. He did. So he went and did that. I see, said Hugh. Mike was quite noisy on our old railway. The Flying Scotsman whispered his plan to Duke and Hugh. Great, said the two engines, and they raced away. The Flying Scotsman puffed around the bend. Just then, Smudger, Mike, and Diesel came up. Oh look, said Smudger. It's an engine that is still on the rails. He will be on them flying. But just as Smudger turned around and reversed to charge at Flying Scotsman, Duke and I came down like they charged at Smudger and he crashed. Then the two engines went onto separate lines so that they could deal with this once and for all. So they could deal with this forever. For good. So they could deal with this together. Ivo Hugh came racing down the line and he bumped into Diesel and came right off the track. Then Duke came down the line and he gave Mike a bob and Mike rolled down the track and smashed into a field. Great work, Flying, said the two engines. Flying Scotsman laughed. And he puffed away. The Fat Controller had seen Diesel, Mike and Smudger up to their no good, especially that Diesel was in their wreck. Harry and Bert burst out of the shed. We should continue this, said Harry. You can, said Bert. I'm getting out there. He came down the line and charged at Ivo Hugh. Ivo Hugh went rolling and derailed, but he wasn't completely off the track. Duke gave Harry a giant bump and he came off the track. Ivo Hugh still wasn't fully derailed, so he coupled up and pulled him back onto the rails. The Flying Scotsman had helped Winston to the rails, and he soon came down the line. He soon came to sort out the pieces. Bert was deep making his run for it, but Duke gave Bert a bump because he'd heard him crashing lady, and he came off the track with Mike and Smudger. I see, though, there's been quite a lot of accidents today. With the Fat Controller and Mike, Smudger, and Diesel. I believe you are responsible. Diesel, the first thing I want to ask you is how the heck did you get to Sodor? I had you sent away. I came back through the magic buffers, sir, said Diesel. Indeed, said the Fat Controller. Well, that means you're never coming back to Sodor ever, Diesel. Okay, sir, said Diesel. But he knew that one day you would go through the magic buffers again. Mike, said the Fat Controller, crossly, you were a new engine to my railway, correct? Correct, said Mike. So you are having a trial, said. For all the trouble you caused today, Mike, you will have a trial. 3 strikes, and if you get all 3 strikes by doing bad things, I will send you back to the Arsdale Railway. Clear? Clear, sir, said Mike. Duke and Ivo here, I believe you'll have to run the entire narrow gauge railway whilst these engines are being mended, and the Flying Scotsman, you'll have to run on the entire standard gauge railway before these engines go into the works. As if all the rolling stock is smashed. Yes, sir, said the Flying Scotsman, and he puffed away to do his work. You know what, said the Flying Scotsman as he puffed along the line. I think my little joke worked. And moved on to the viaduct. Happily along the line. You won't be laughing soon, Stinkies. Laughing soon. Merry Christmas, Stinky Steamies.